All right. So why we heal? And this is more like why you heal. You know, how many times you have had surgery or injury, or you fell, or, you know, some big trauma happened to you. And a lot of times you were told after these injuries, after surgery, that now we just have to heal. Now it has to heal. And we just kind of wait. And so when we have an injury, so let me take you through things that happens for most of us. So our body is self-healing. The natural healing force within each of us is the greatest force in getting well. And that was Hippocrates, of course. So, you know, it has this amazing capacity to heal. And it makes certain hormones to make inflammation, which gives us pain, and then we heal. And, you know, when we have this pain, it kind of tells us, take it easy, slow down. If it's my knee that has inflammation, of course, I'm not going to run a marathon on this knee now. I'm going to take it easier until it's healed. But it knows how to heal. And many times is that when you have an injury, it's not just one thing. Let's say it's my bone. Well, that might carry into my ligaments, my tendons, my fascia, my nerves. I mean, so there's a lot of things that needs to heal. And the patience and the prevention, of course, would have been amazing if we were eating well, if we were exercising before this happened, it went so much better. And one of our guests just stayed here before Christmas for 4 weeks. And then a few weeks later, she had this terrible accident where she misstepped and fell down a few stairs. And she got all bruised up, and it was terrible. But because she had been taking care of herself so much while she was here, I tell you, she came out of it, and everybody told her that the results would have been totally different. So I'm going to take you through. First, we're going to look at the blood. So the blood carries everything for good and bad. And I've looked at blood with the dark field microscope for 20 years. And the things that you see, this beautiful red blood cell carrying oxygen and nutrients, and so much information to your whole immune system. You have white blood cell in there that is going after pathogens, virus, bacteria. You have 5 different kinds. It's like having different agents inside your body that can go anywhere, in your gums, your brain, your gut, everywhere, and look after things. Right here you see one of them, an eosinophil, and their job is to go after yeast, parasites, and allergies. So here you see one that's going to go after a parasite. And many times parasites and virus and bacteria, they hang out together, and it's called biofilm. And they make them stronger, of course, against the antibiotics and against your immune system. So there's many people that come here that have been through so much treatments and antibiotic, and the biofilm is just growing. And here goes the parasite is gone there. You see that? So the way that we would treat that is, of course, the self-healing mechanism of diet, giving good diet, giving exercise into that system. Treatments, we're doing energy medicine, we're doing chiropractic, we do acupuncture, and I will talk more about all these wonderful things. So Now, look at this. This human skin regenerates itself approximately every 27 days. So what if I come here now and I have psoriasis, which now the skin is making too many cells, and I get these patches that are really painful, and the inflammation around them is, you can't stop scratching it. Or you have eczema and you have this dry skin that is now very itchy. So your body makes a special hormone called cytokine. These are cells that actually cause inflammation, but the inflammation is a way to healing. So it's often the opposite of what we think. We're upset when we have inflammation because it leads to pain, right? Bone remodeling, a process where new bone tissue gradually replaces old tissue, exemplifies our body's regenerative capabilities. A broken bone typically has fully healed in 6 to 8 weeks. So you wonder how many times, boy, look at this picture, it's broken. Well, then you put in a cast, and then you have to wait. Then you're told there's nothing more we can do. Now we have to wait. So look at skin cells. They change in about 28 days or 30 days. Blood cells, red blood cells, take about 120 days. And platelets could change in 8-9 days in circulation. Liver cells, that's why liver heals so much faster than any other organ, 3 weeks. So you have, in 3 weeks, you have new cells. Bone cells, yeah, they last about 25 years. Muscle cells are there for a lifetime, just like fat cells. Neurons, they vary. And, more or less the neurons that you have in your brain, of course, we were always told that what you got is what you have. But the good thing is that the hippocampus, which is the learning and memory center in your brain, regenerate new cells. So I remember a long time ago, a Swedish study showed this, especially for Parkinson, and this was very good news. Intestinal cells, 5 to 7 days. So what if I have now gastrointestinal problem, Crohn's, colitis, IBS, in 5 to 7 days? Or what if I have cancer? Now the #1 cancer coming up, especially for younger people, less than 50 years old, is anal rectal cancer. So imagine if I can change those cells in 5 to 7 days, what I'm able to do when I change lifestyle. So lungs are very slow. You have some cells that can change in 2-3 weeks, but they're slow coming back, but they come. So inflammation and pain are critical components in the body's response system, serving as indicator and facilitator of the healing process. So inflammation is always annoying, and I just went through that with my ankle and the pain that comes with it, and then the recovery. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess I had to go through that. The role of inflammation in self-healing. Inflammation is a natural response to injury, playing a key role in healing. Chronic inflammation, however, can lead to various health issues, including autoimmune diseases. This is when it's gone, we never really healed, right? And people come with arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, and it went into this chronic problem. And the body is trying to protect itself. So if we had got the message that you need to change lifestyle, you need to change your diet, but healing is always body, mind, and spirit. So maybe my mind and spirit has not been happy. Maybe I just been too overwhelmed that I couldn't find a way out. Like one of our guests said, who just had heart attack and bypass surgery, he said, I realize now, since he was here at the Institute, why I was so lonely and I could care less what I was eating. And so, he came to his own conclusion for this. Pain as a healing reminder. Pain serves as a reminder for the body to heal and protect injured areas. Yeah, when I had my ankle, do you think I was running marathon on that? No, you don't. It's telling you, you need to take care. There's a lot of exercise that I could do with this ankle. Of course, I could do gym, I could do upper body. I could go swimming, you know, I could do acupuncture and energy medicine. I mean, we're very much for energy medicine that works with frequency because your body is electric. So if I can help to speed up the healing with frequencies that works into my frequencies, speed up the healing, amazing. So chronic pain often results from a lack of appropriate action or treatment post-injury. Well, I think most of the time after surgery, you're not really told, you're not really given all the beautiful tools that you should have known about. Like, you need a whole support system of people that can help you now. And acupuncture, of course, is a great chiropractic, maybe, if that's appropriate at that time. I love acupuncture otherwise. And massage and healing touch. So, and psychology, because there is 5 systems that trigger self-healing. And that is your nervous system, your immune system, microcirculation, your muscle relaxation, and of course, psychology. So it's physiology and psychology, and it's the social lifestyle where we have friends, we have family, and people that are positive, and they will help us through that healing process, because we don't want to be alone. We don't want to be alone like the guest who had a heart attack. Pain and medication. So long-term use of medication for suffering can sometimes worsen symptoms due to dependency and side effects. So, you know, these opioids are actually getting into our nervous system, and it makes us constipated, it makes us nauseous, we're not really ourselves while we take them, and then we get into addiction. So then it goes on far beyond the time that we might have needed them for the outrageous pain that we might have had to endure after the surgery or the injury that happened. So emphasis on alternative management strategies like physical therapy and diet provides more sustainable relief. I mean, that's something I've seen for all these 50 years. I directed a clinic in Sweden, and we dealt with all kinds of inflammatory problems, from Crohn's colitis, psoriasis, eczema, cardiovascular problem, of course, arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, as our founder had rheumatoid arthritis and healed herself naturally. And, you know, it was amazing. I was always on cloud 9, how people could heal. Of course, asthma, emphysema. Asthma, I tell you, we had a 3-story building, and if you came with asthma, you had to stay on the 3rd floor without an elevator. A lot of people could hardly go up those steps. In a few weeks, in a few months, some people stayed a few months, they were running up those stairs, and, you know, it just took long walks with me. We had a big forest just beside the clinic. We were the last house on the road, and there was a big forest there, and they were able to do that before they left. And medication that has so many side effects, the steroids, anti-inflammatory, they usually were off most of that. So pain and medication has its time. I mean, medication has its time sometime, but long-term, absolutely, you need an alternative for that. So factors influencing healing and sleep, of course, sleep and nervous system. The nervous system plays a key role in the healing. It's definitely number one triggering that you have to heal yourself, particularly through the regulation of inflammatory process. Sleep is vital for the body's repair process, include muscle growth and tissue repair. Of course, during sleep, your brain is being cleaned up of especially amyloid, but it's cleaning up waste. And, you know, everybody wonders, how much do you need to sleep? I mean, how many hours do you need to sleep? And so Oslo University in Norway did a study. And they wanted to see the brain volume, the maximum brain volume. And they found that 6.5 hours was definitely maximum brain volume. If this is enough for you, probably not. Maybe 7 hours, maybe 8 hours. If you're a teenager, you're going to sleep much longer. And that's perfectly okay, because you're definitely growing and changing and your hormones are going crazy. So sleep is the time that you give a body the break and the brain, because the brain never stops, your heart never stops. They're constantly going. And you're actually selecting things from the day you just had while you're sleeping in your dreams. It's actually selecting certain things. And the funny thing is that the hippocampus in your brain is where your learning and memory center is. And during the sleep, it empties out into neuroreceptor sites. So you can fill up with much more beautiful memories the next day. So sleep is often, I mean, about 70% of Americans have a sleep problem, sleep deficiency, insomnia. So one treatment that works so well here is tryptophan, as tryptophan is actually made by microbes in your gut. And tryptophan makes serotonin, which is the happy hormone, so that I can function today and I don't freak out for everything that happens. And then serotonin makes melatonin, which is the sleep hormone. Now, if you keep looking at your cell phone before you go to sleep, you know that blue light kills melatonin. So I'm not going to have the good sleep that I could have had. So let's keep that cell phone out of reach, and preferably not in the bedroom at all. And the same with your TV, because the TV is also light but disturbs your melatonin. So because sleep is so important so that you wake up refreshed, and because it is such a big problem, it influencing all your healing, your self-healing methods with all the systems, they're all lacking and suffering. So then you have another factor, microcirculation. Microcirculation is crucial for delivering oxygen and nutrients to tissues and removing waste products. So imagine this, you can actually make it work better by exercise and eating right, eating much more fresh vegetables, go on a plant-based diet for sure, and exercise speeds it up. And so that would be really good, especially if I need to heal, right? Because I need to give it to the tissues, the oxygen and the nutrients, and I need to remove waste products. Chronic stress suppresses the immune system and exacerbates disease, right? So then we're going to have to find a way to reduce stress. Some stress is actually okay, but there is that chronic stress where we overwhelm, when life feels like you just can't take care of yourself. That's when people come to the Institute too, when they more or less hit the wall. A lot of people have, and they just need to step out of life and be taken care of for a while. And 3 weeks, they find that adrenal stress takes minimum 3 weeks to heal. So just that in itself. This is my favorite picture taken by Swedish medical photographer Lennart Nilsson. This is white blood cell attacking tumor. So you see the yellow-orange part here is a tumor, and it's being attacked by monocytes. These are the funny looking, looks like little snails, right? And you have the T cells, these little round balls there. And you have B cells and T cells, and they have interferon. And how they get it into this tumor is by drilling. So Leonard Nilsson was the first one to go inside people's bodies with a camera. He is the one who followed the enzyme explosion with the egg and the sperm, and how the life got in for 9 months. He followed that. It was amazing. And he has this picture taken a long time ago, where the interferon is drilled into the tumor and killing it. It's like, this is how they kill anything, though. This is how they help you with inflammation. This is with the injuries. This is how they help you. Your immune system is totally dependent on you. You are the boss. It knows the self-healing. It's a part of all the 5 systems, but I have to eat right. I have to bring the oxygen in. I have to breathe right. Also, another thing about sleeping, most of us are mouth breathing when we're sleeping, when we should be nose breathing. When you're nose breathing at night, you make nitric oxide. That's going to help you with any cardiovascular problem. So that's going to help you prevent heart attack and strokes. So mouth is just for talking and eating. It's not for breathing. So the more you can think about it when you're sitting by yourself and when you're going to sleep, that you want to nose breathe. The immune response to pathogens. So the immune system identifies and responds to pathogens like bacteria and virus using specialized cells and mechanism. Antibodies are produced by B cells, also lymphocyte like T cell, specifically recognize and bind to antigens or pathogens, neutralizing them and marking them for destruction. White blood cells, including lymphocytes, T cells and B cells, and phagocytes, the monocytes, the neutrophils, the eosinophil and basophil, play critical roles in attacking and removing pathogens from the body. So remember, pathogens like virus, bacteria, fungus, parasites, they make something together called biofilm, and that makes them stronger. But you can definitely get rid of that, but we have to change lifestyle. Our stem cells, the origin of all human life, right? Stem cells aid in our body's healing by differentiating into various types of cells required for repairing and regenerating damaged tissues, thus maintaining tissue health and function throughout the body. So these are the stem cells. They're part of every self-healing part that you ever have done. And they become what you want them to become. So if I now have a knee problem and I change my lifestyle and I increase my exercise, my acupuncture, and of course, energy medicine, they will become stem cells for my knees. And they've always done that. It's just that our lifestyle have been sedentary. It has been super processed food. We never ate as bad as we do now. I mean, with the companies, big corporations have got away with putting foods, opioids in our food, and palatable foods, which are just nothing but processed stuff. And we're paying a big, big price. Immune system confusion. So autoimmune disorders happens when the immune system mistakenly attacks the body's own cells, leading to various diseases. Well, for example, MS, multiple sclerosis. So there, we have so much virus and bacteria in our system, and most of them are doing good things. There was a retrovirus that made the myelin sheet around our nerves to protect our nerves. They made this myelin sheet out of protein and fats and special stuff. And now what happened with all this mercury we probably had in our mouths, they've been spraying it on our food, and many other lead and aluminum and God knows what, that actually started to erode myelin sheets of the nerves. And it's not like the body makes a system to attack itself. It's always protecting you. But fertilizers, herbicides, pesticides, food that is processed, thoughts that are negative, where we dwell on them over and over, absolutely. The immune system. So imagine now, our self-healing is triggered also by psychology, big time. So that is really important that we work on that. That's why every guest here sees our psychologist. So immune system plays a complex role in cancer, sometimes suppressing tumor growth, and other times when confused, promoting tumor growth. Yeah, and the only way that it would be confused would be body, mind, spirit. It involves all of that. Now you have to go next. Homeostasis and stress triggers. Stressors such as physical trauma and psychological events can disrupt homeostatic balance, impacting health. What is homeostasis? Homeostasis means that it's the balance. It's a balance of everything going on in your body. So it's disruptors, of course. That's why we got to take care. But the more I work with prevention before I have an accident or surgery, of course, the easier I will get through it. Environmental endocrine disruptors like pesticides interfere with hormonal balance and affecting your health. Yeah, so much cancer have come out of this, so much Parkinson and many other diseases. We pay a big price when we really don't want any of this, do we? Genetic manipulated, do we want that? No. I do gardening here. I save anything that's flowering, which means I have seeds for the next time that I want to plant. Genetic manipulated, I get no such seeds. So you are in constant environment, indoors, in your house and outside, where these endocrine disruptors are interfering with your balance. This is very, very dangerous in these days, and nobody wants pesticides on your food. Imagine if I made a beautiful salad for you now, and before I serve it to you, I say, I want to put some glyphosate, some Roundup or something on this food. And you would say, are you nuts? Well, that's what's happening unless you go organic. So here's one of our psychologists, Anthony Chatham, and I want him to tell you what self-healing is about.
Hi. The question now is, why do we heal? The simple answer, we are divine. Of course, some people may think that is blasphemy. We are claiming ourselves to be God. In reality, yes, we are God. Like we say, we are made of stardust. We are made of the divine element. Even in traditional Christianity, we believe in the Holy Spirit. What is Holy Spirit? Holy Spirit is the presence of the divine in me. The same way in Hinduism, for example, the greatest saying that I have found in Hinduism is Aham Brahmasmi. I am the Brahma, the divine. And then the second part of it is Tat Tuam Asi. That is who you are. If we are divine, yes, we heal because the divinity is wholeness. It's an energy that we cannot quite explain in human terms, but the divinity is wholeness. And we all have that ability. This is why you can heal me and I can heal you. And we heal each other. At Hippocrates, this is a phenomenon. That is, everyone who comes into the program to participate, believe it or not, they heal each other. If you look back into your interactions here at Hippocrates, you will notice it is true that people have healed each other. And therefore, we believe we are divine, and let us keep our divinity in everything we do. Let us keep our dignity, everything what we do. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Now, let's listen to Andy Roman, our other psychologist.
The question of healing is really central to what goes on here at Hippocrates Wellness. But what is healing? Why does it happen? This is my take on it. Healing is a natural thing. It's part of nature. Healing means to make whole. And so that includes removing obstacles to nature's natural flow. That includes the heart, the mind, the body. We need to address all of these things at the same time. Why? Because we are all of that. And so healing is to, I'm a therapist, so I'm really into feeling, because I believe feeling is the integrative feature of the human being. And so healing really means it's time to feel and connect and integrate the parts of ourselves that we have put out of our awareness because it was unacceptable or for whatever reason, and to just be a human. Healing is natural. We can remove the obstacles. We do that with colonics. We do that with skincare and massage. We do that with the food that we eat and intermittent fasting. And we also can do that by addressing these issues. It's not just what you eat, it's getting to what's eating you and removing those obstacles. Because what is our nature? We're a part of nature. What is that? You can look at little kids and say, nature is joy, nature is wonder and happiness and even bliss, really. So anything that's between you and that needs to be removed in a way, needs to be put in its proper place. That's what healing is all about.
Thank you, Andy. So stress and its dual impact, right? Stress negatively impacts health, but manageable level of stress can strengthen resilience. Simple strategies like mindfulness and exercise can mitigate stress negative effects. Yeah, don't you feel amazing after you took time to meditate, or you took time to exercise, do strength training, and take a long walk with a friend? It's, we need to be able to relieve stress, because everybody has stress during the day. It's just not, life can't go without that. And, since human beings have been here on this earth, I'm sure there's been stress. I mean, I read about Hippocrates. He said, the first thing he would do is to put people on a fast for 3 days, and he would help them to de-stress and to not overeat. He always said, you guys overeat. And that was then, imagine. So it's definitely is good. So who are you? The influence of personality on healing. Positive personality traits like gratitude and commitment can enhance healing and overall well-being. The role of personal goals and curiosity in fostering a healthy mind-body. Yes, when you ask centenarians how they live their life, and they will say, you know, I made my own decisions. If I made commitment, I held myself to it. I mean, all these people at New Year's resolutions, how many people hold themselves to it? This is what I'm going to do this year, and then we forget. And, you know, our mind doesn't forget. Our body doesn't forget. You have cellular memory. When I did dark field microscopy, I actually looked at the cellular memory, and it remembers big traumas. It remembers surgeries. It remembers deficiencies that you've had now and in the past. I mean, it's all running around. So being curious, loving to learn new things, is that you? Do we need to have some changes? Do we need to learn new things, right? Impact of social connection on healing. Studies show that patients with regular social interactions and visits from loved ones have better recovery rates. And the risk for mortality is significantly higher in individuals with fewer social relationships. Absolutely. So in Glasgow, Scotland, they did a study. They studied 450,000, 100,000, right? And they studied them for 15 years, and there was ages between 30 and 50, I think. And they found that people who had no visits during those 15 years, there was 40% greater risk of dying. Actually, there was 40% greater mortality. And the people that had one a day visit, no, even one a week visit, no, even one a month visit, did fantastic. So, you know, we need to remember our family, our friends. We need to go and visit them. We need to talk to them. And I think talking on the phone is one thing. Seeing somebody, hugging them, holding their hands, sharing a day, making food together, you know, just being together is really, really important. And boy, do we heal so much faster after that. Psychological pain and physical manifestation. Negative thoughts and beliefs can manifest as physical pain, illustrating the mind-body connection. Absolutely. And like you saw, Andy and Anthony, our psychologists, I mean, this is big time being worked on here. We also have the 4-week cancer program where our physician and psychologist, Dr. Jan Ranicki, comes in. And it's mind-boggling that the mind has so much to do with our problems. And of course, seeing people that have been told that, you know, this cancer is stage 4 and it's palliative treatments and it's there's not much that we can do. And then you realize, oh, I changed lifestyle, I changed my thoughts pattern, and I get friends and I talk to people that can understand me. Absolutely. Managing psychological pain is crucial for complete healing. So the power of adaptation. Epigenetic changes can be triggered by dietary habits affecting gene expression and poor or good health. The body's adaptive response to maintain homeostasis are critical in stress management. So adaptation, that is how we survive. That is for every plant, every animal, and humans. This is something that we learned. Our bodies have learned. You have innate response, which is what you were born with. Adapted, you have learned through life. And you know, this is definitely so that we survive and we have maximum survival and reproduction. That's what this is about. So sleep and detox. During sleep, the brain removes toxins that accumulate during waking hours. And this is funny. something, and it's a new name. It's not that old. I think it's from 2015. I mean, it's not that old. It's glymphatic system. So glymphatic system is actually clearing waste while we're sleeping. So that is what is clearing clearing amyloid and during the sleep. And so you have lymphatic system that, of course, clearing waste from the whole body, but it's glymphatic that is clearing waste while you're sleeping. And, Hebrew University in Israel found out that even more problematic than the amyloid, because they said, well, for Alzheimer, they've concentrated on the amyloid and to clear that with medication, and that failed. It didn't work. So they said it's the BBB, blood-brain barrier, that could have tiny tears, which now lets pesticides, fertilizers, fungus to move in. And there is a new study saying that, you have your microbiome, of course. Microbiome I have from the nose to the gut. I have it in the nose, I have it in the mouth, I have it in the rectum. I have, of course, women, we have vaginal. So when we give birth, we give in 20 minutes, we give the microbiome to our newborn. And they say we probably have microbiome in our brain. So imagine now the new studies about long COVID, for example, is saying that there is fungus, there might be infections coming in to the brain through the blood-brain barrier that should never be there, because the only thing that should come through the blood-brain barrier is oxygen and glucose. So you have the hippocampus to make insulin. So you have your pancreas make insulin for the rest of the body, but the brain has its own source of insulin to take care of the glucose that comes in. So imagine if fungus come in that should never have a chance to come in. We're not going to be able to think right. We're going to have problems and brain fog, and our bodies are going to suffer just as well. Then comes oral health. So it has been linked to systemic disease, including cardiovascular disease and cancer, and many more, including Alzheimer, including Parkinson, including arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, you name it. Immune intelligence refers to the adaptive capacity of the immune system to recognize and remember pathogens, because you have that memory in cells, and especially your lymphocytes. So poor oral health. Now, this is very much to the mouth breathing I talked about before. We all need to remember nose breathing. Remember, the mouth is for your eating and talking. So when Weston Price went all over the world to study people's teeth, of course, he found that we need to be on a very healthy diet, plant-based diet. And we need to floss and brush our teeth. We need to, like every 6 months, have our teeth cleaned. And, I've seen it with my own kids. So we have 4 children. And the 4 children their teeth are perfect. They never had a cavity. They never had a plaque. And things that, of course, I, being on Swedish diet with all the dairy in the world and meat and chicken and fish and eggs and tons of gluten, I suffered a lot of amalgam in my teeth. Of course, I changed it later on in life into porcelain, but it's been in and out of dental care because of the lifestyle that everybody thought was the right one. So this is very important, and there is a lot of bacteria that could really hurt you, like fusobacterium that lives in your gums. So we want healthy gums. Chewing, when you chew our food and you chew the sprouts, you actually get into these bacteria, and then you can have a water pick and really flush those gums with that, and that's been a good health. Microorganisms role. Beneficial microorganisms in our body, like gut and mouth flora, significantly influence our health and healing. The microbiome's role in immunity, digestion, and even mental health is scientifically established. Yeah, so what you have in your large intestine, you have 100 trillion microbes that work for you and help you, because 90% of the serotonin is made from these. 80% of your whole immune system comes from these bacteria. And there could be some bad, but most of them have to be good for you to be in balance. So there could be some fungus, there could be some virus and bacteria, but they shouldn't have a chance to get into your system in any way. Brown fat and weight training. Brown fat, known for its role in thermogenesis, also aids in metabolizing fat and sugar. Regular weight training increasing brown fat activity, contributing to better metabolic health. So you were born with brown fat that keeps you nice and warm and cushioning your joints and tendons and everything, and then gives you energy, and then it turns to white fat. So white fat is amazing to keep us in good shape when there was danger. Imagine though, we were nomads once upon a time. They say about 700,000 years, maybe later, maybe sooner, we left Ethiopia, where we all actually came from. And we started to we were nomads, obviously. We walked miles and miles, and some days we found lots of food. And we would store what we didn't need. And then the next day, maybe we wouldn't find any food. And now the liver that sits here, right by the last rib on the right side, would take this fat, protein, and everything it's stored, and use it for energy. And our brain still thinks in the same way. So when you see a smorgasbord and you can eat all you want, you probably do. But the problem is, the next day, I could eat the same amount. So I keep adding. And now diabetes, of course, obesity, cardiovascular problems, cancer, walks right in. So brown fat is something that I make more that will burn my white fat, especially if I'm obese right now. I need to make brown fat. So sleeping, I make brown fat. Working out, and I mean resistant training, because when you do resistant training, you make a hormone that actually makes brown fat, which will burn my white fat. And then I need essential fatty acid. I need like walnuts, avocado. I need algae. I don't need fish, anything from a fish, because a fish eats algae, and that's how you're going to get omega-3. I need chia seed, hemp seed, flax seeds. I need all the nuts. We don't use cashew or peanuts, but all the other nuts. Of course, walnuts is the highest in that essential fatty acid for you. So essential fatty acid makes brown fat. So now you can burn my white fat. And then I need to take care of my thyroid. And the thyroid needs selenium and iodine. I can eat seaweed, of course, like dulse and kelp. They're great to give me iodine. Most people don't eat enough of it, so I can take iodine, take 100% ionic iodine and selenium, and I take zinc to add to help the thyroid, because it's the master gland in your body, but it also will make brown fat. The importance of posture in healing. Well, a lot of people sit like this. A lot of people work like this for hours and hours. Proper posture is essential for reducing strain on muscles and joints, facilitating better healing. And poor posture can lead to chronic pain and impede the healing process. So when bones are in the right place, then muscle hold them there. So it's the muscle. That's why the previous picture with the strength training is holding my bones. And so I need to work out. Yes, maybe hundreds of years ago, I didn't have to go to the gym to work out because the farm was enough, right? But most of us don't have a farm anymore, and we're working indoors. We might be working from home or in an office. And this is how we sit, and we forget because we get so into our work. But we need proper posture for the healing, and we breathe better, and we have more confidence when we have. So maybe you need a good acupuncturist. We do a lot of acupuncture here. We do a lot of Nuka, Atlas acupuncture, to strengthen our spine, and which strengthen our nervous system. Virus and the microbiome. A strong microbiome can influence the dormancy of virus, enhancing immune system effectiveness. The interplay between gut bacteria and viral infection is crucial in determining disease outcomes. So we really want to work on that microbiome. Now, I often get the question, how do you build the microbiome? What if I took tons of antibiotic? I had to take, let's say you took, you had large constipation, so you took antacids, or you took diarrhea pills or something, and now my gut bacteria is not as good as it should be. It is prebiotic, which you're eating with all the raw food. You're eating it with the sprouts and the avocado and the leafy greens, the spinach, the kale, and all the beautiful lettuces. And that's how you rebuild your microbes. So that is prebiotic. Probiotic will not do a good job without prebiotics. So that is raw food that comes in and plays a big role, as 80% of your whole immune system comes